Hi everyone, this is my Lavinia stamps video tutorial from me to you for today, and I think you'll agree it's quite a colourful card, and now I'm going to show you how I achieved it. I have some copy paper here and I have my stamp pad underneath because most of my stamping will be using an acrylic block. I've got a piece of multifarious cardstock in white, and this is just a panel, and the size of this is 9 centimetres in width by 18 centimetres in length. And I'm turning it on its side, taking a piece of copy paper, and I'm going to do some blending, but I want to protect the cardstock from my oil in my fingers. So that's what this is for. But I will be avoiding at all costs this hard edge, because if I blend too close to this and get a line, I won't be able to get rid of it. Candied apple, black soot, and worn lipstick are my preferred colours today. Starting off with candied apple, excuse me, this is a very vibrant red and I love it. I'm using some Sweet Poppy Stencils makeup brushes, and these are the largest that I could find, and they are really good for a very quick, smooth blend. Trying to make sure that I stay in shot for you, so let's move this over. So inked up from off the card, very lightly, one layer at a time, going up the card. Ink up regularly, starting off the card over the same area each time. Just concentrating on this bottom bit here to get a nice vibrant colour. And then moving up. And each time I'm going back to the bottom and going up the card. Now I'm going a little higher over on this side here, which will be on the right, because I just don't want a dark red stripe across the card. I want it to look sort of blended and soothed into each, not soothed, that's the wrong word, and very smoothly blending into each other. That's better. So, I think that will do me. And now I'm going on to worn lipstick. This will be lighter, of course, than the candied apple, and this is where my main flower image will be, so it will stand out more because the ink is a lighter colour. Same makeup brush, but I'm taking a piece of cardstock that is textured cardstock, and I'm just going to remove some of the candied apple onto that, and it will get rid of the most of the ink so that I can go on to the next colour. Worn lipstick, starting in the candied apple area, of course, and then going further up the card. And this one is going right to the top, but avoid this line here. I don't want to catch that with the brush. Ooh. The secret of blending is to make sure you put enough ink on and that your ink pad is fairly juicy. just skimming over just to blend it in. Right, turning it round, coming down from the top, keeping away from this edge, loading up with ink often, little and often. As the cardstock soaks up the ink, it will get more vivid and the blend will look even smoother. But I'm quite pleased with that at the moment. So I'm just going to go over this area again and putting a little bit more candied apple on, but very lightly with the wrist, so it's just kissing in. And I'm really happy with that blend. Now, I'm not sure how great the camera is. To me, looking at it, the blend looks a bit patchy, but it isn't. Let me hold it up. It's still not showing you as it really is in real life. That is very smooth. And hopefully the photograph that I take will show you. It does look patchy, but I can assure you that it isn't. It must be my lamp, the light, or whatever. Or wishful thinking. No, it isn't patchy, honest. Save all your copy paper bits that you've used. I use them more for blending other colours on, and you get a nice background. So save those. Now I'm going to start the stamping. No, I'm not. I'm going to do a bit more blending. Sorry, I need to put on black soot. Black soot. Back it goes again, round there. Now, this is quite an overpowering colour, so I want to ensure that I don't overdo this. So taking off a fair amount of the ink. At the bottom, very loose wrist action. Just to make a frame, but with a darker area at the bottom. Going up on the right-hand side of the card, or as it will be when it's turned round, just to make sure it isn't a stripe going across again. So it's a different level. Not too much ink, put some on, take some off, and then go with what you've got. Increase the pressure when you need to get more ink out of the brush. Straight up the side. Staying off the card all the time. Circular motion. Bit more ink. Just to get that frame in. And just to add a dark contrast for interest. A little bit heavier handed at the bottom so that you can see the black soot and it's got its own space. So that you can see it. like so. Again, still looks patchy. Well, I could tell you it isn't. Weird. Maybe it's just my setup. Right. On to the stamping. Versifying Claire Nocturne, new pad, well, it was at the beginning of the month. And the first stamp that I'm using is from the beautiful Lilium set. And there it is. The larger of the two images. Absolutely gorgeous. You can use a stamp press if you wish. Gentle tapping. And all the time I can see that the cardstock is getting more vivid, my topper, as the ink settles in and gets stronger. Take off any surplus ink from around the stamp. Popping it on its side, I find it easier to keep the stamp straight. And then I'm stamping off the cardstock about 1/2 inch in from what will be the right-hand side, but making sure that this stem at the bottom is off the edge of the card so it's not just hanging there. Down and press. And up. Beautiful image. Image number 2 is the stamp called Just Lilium. It's a spray of 3 blooms. Absolutely gorgeous. And that's next. So to recap, I've used the Lilium set so far, one of them, and then the other stamp called Lilium. Popping this on so that all of the flower is, the whole spray is on the cardstock, but I want it to meet up. The light from the light from my lamp is in my eyes, so I'm trying to ensure that the stalk is going to touch the other stem of the original flower that I'd stamped. And down a bit there. Right. Okay, let's go for that. Let it soak in. And down and up. Yes, that's gorgeous. It's meeting. Now, I've got the stem of the original flower going through here, but I've sorted that. So a heat gun, bit of a dry. I stamped out this spray again on a piece of spare cardstock in white, and I've cut it out, one of the flower heads, this one, where the stalk of the original one is going through it. I've cut it out and I'm going to stick it down using some wet glue, but you can use a foam pad if you wish, if you want it to be raised. And I'm using a Pritt stick for this. The back of this bloom is a bit of a mess, but the front's okay. Oops. I'm just going to pop that down there. Like so. There we are. Bit of a contrast, and it covers up the stem. Next, I've got some words. Actually, it's a poem, and it's rather pretty. It's a pretty verse, and it's called Secret Night. I'm going to stamp this in black, and it will be second generation. So, verse fine clair, nocturne, gentle tapping. I just want it for texture, but if I can read the words, then that's a bonus. The first generation would be too overpowering for me. Make sure it's up the right way, down, starting at the top, off the card. That's nice. And then I'm going to put some more here. And then another one at the bottom here. And maybe just a little bit there. That's it. That's good. Now, the other thing I need to do, which I should have done before, is that I need to stamp another flower here. It can go through the words, it won't matter. So this is the smaller flower from the first set that I used, the Lilium set. So you get two, the larger one and this smaller one. And I'm inking this up again with verse fine clair. Fortunately, I've got a gap here, so it may be you need to stamp this first. Sorry about that. So I'm popping that there, like so, on its side. That's good. Oh, yeah, even if you do the words first, I think it will still cover them. So that looks, yeah, that looks quite good. Now, the final thing that I need to do after I've dried it is to take my Misty popping the card in. Let me hope you can see this okay. Yes, you can. And I have a stamp here, and it says Lavinia Stamps. It is for sale on the website, and I think it's quite novel. So I'm going to use it a lot. And I'm using it now. So popping that in, up the side, using a Misty, a stamp press, because I want it to be really straight. I have some words stamped underneath from the word stamp, and I'm hoping that won't interfere too much with it. Pop that back. First fine clair nocturne again. and over and press. Yeah, that's not bad. You can see it. Yes, you can see the words underneath, but it's still noticeably saying Lavinia stamp. So, of course, you can use any greeting under that of your choice. Right. So now the other couple of things I need to do is I'm taking a Sharpie piece of copy paper to hold my card down, and I'm just running the Sharpie along the edge, not on the card, just off the card, using the card as a guide. Run it down and you will find you'll get the line, but you'll also get a tiny amount straight onto your card. Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamps does this, and I thought that's a good idea. So I've been doing it for several years now, since I saw her doing it. Right. So that's all four sides, and it just gives it a tiny little border. But not only did I do this one, but I did the layers as well, which I've already done in advance. So using the same method with a Sharpie, I placed the black line all around the edge of this card, the first layer, all around the edge of the second layer, and then that is ready to go onto my card, like so. So you've got, and these are, each layer is 1/2 centimetre larger all round. So this one is 9.5 by 18.5 centimetres, and this one is 10 centimetres in width by 19 centimetres. And then the main card, blank, again, I've made out of the same textured cardstock. You can use any you like. And this one is 12 by 21 centimetres. Not a regular size, but there again, I never do regular sizes. So you can have fun with that. Now I'm just going to pop some gold sparkle pen dots coming up from a few of the blooms, flower heads, but not all of them. And then another lot here. So just a few goldy bits there. I did that one last time. This time I've done the other three. So that's it. I'm not going to stick these down. I'm sure that you can do that. You don't need me to show you how to glue cardstock. And I'm running short of time. There we go. Just get it lined up. And then popping that onto there. So taking this off, get my board, tidy around. There's the one I made earlier. This is the topper that I've just made today. Like so. And I hope that you enjoyed that. I did. And I hope that you have fun with that. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. Catch you next weekend. Bye for now.